Ambassador Chen stood before the crystalline gates of the Galactic Council chamber, her reflection fractured into 1,000 determined fragments. Behind her, the delegations of 300 civilizations murmured in their various tongues, a cacophony that the translation matrix rendered into uncomfortable silence. "Your petition is denied," the council arbiter had said, its luminescent form pulsing with what humanity had learned to recognize as condescension. "Earth lacks the maturity for representation. You are a violent species. Children playing with nuclear fire." That had been 5 years ago. 5 years that humanity had spent not in petitions or pleas, but in quiet preparation. Dr. Sarah Okonkwo had cracked the quantum fold technology that the council had hidden behind 17 layers of bureaucratic patents. She'd done it in a basement laboratory in Lagos, with equipment purchased from salvage yards and a brilliant mind that refused to accept limitations. When the council discovered her breakthrough, they'd attempted to silence it with legal injunctions and trade embargoes. They'd underestimated humanity's oldest talent, sharing knowledge in spite of those who would hoard it. Within 18 months, quantum fold drives were being manufactured in Detroit, Shanghai, Mumbai, and Sao Paulo. Earth's ships, once confined to crawling between planets at sublight speeds, could now dance between star systems as easily as the Council's own fleet. The Council had called it theft. Humanity had called it leveling the playing field. Chen remembered the day Captain Marcus Webb had returned from the Kepler 442 system with refugees from 3 Council-subjugated worlds. The Orcs, the Valorians, and the Kasari had been labeled primitive by the Council, their resources extracted, their voices ignored. Webb had offered them something the Council never had, a choice. "Join us," he'd said. "Or don't. But you'll have a say in the decision." They'd joined. So had 73 other species over the next 3 years, each one given genuine representation in Earth's growing coalition. No species too small, no voice too quiet. It was messy, chaotic, and occasionally maddening. But it was real democracy, something the Council had forgotten in its 10,000-year reign. The Council had responded with sanctions, then blockades, then finally, threats of military action. They'd threatened to reduce Earth to ash, to make an example of humanity's impudence. Chen smiled at the memory of Admiral Zhao's response, "You're welcome to try." The Council had tried. Their fleets had arrived at Earth expecting to find a primitive world defended by crude, stolen technology. Instead, they'd found a fortress, surrounded by ships from 100 allied worlds, each one crewed by beings who'd finally found someone willing to fight for their dignity. The battle had lasted 47 minutes. Not because humanity won through superior firepower, but because the Council's own subjugated worlds had risen in synchronized rebellion, cutting supply lines, jamming communications, and revealing to the galaxy what humanity had already proven: the Council ruled through perception, not strength. Now, Chen stood before those same crystalline gates with a different message. The Council arbiter materialized before her, its light dimmer than she remembered. "You've come to negotiate?" it asked, uncertainty coloring its translated voice. "No," Chen replied, and her smile was sharp as starlight. "We've come to renovate." She gestured behind her, where representatives from 400 worlds stood united, each one holding a small device. With a synchronized press, the devices activated, broadcasting a simple message to every civilized world in the galaxy. The Galactic Council is dissolved. In its place, the Galactic Assembly convenes. Every sapient species, regardless of size or strength, is granted equal voice. No more denied seats. No more hierarchy of worthiness. This is not a request. The arbiter flickered with what might have been rage or fear. "You cannot simply." "We already have," Chen interrupted. "You denied us a seat at your table. So we built a bigger table. One with room for everyone." As the crystalline gates shattered into a billion points of light, Chen turned to face the assembled delegations. Behind her, a new structure was already materializing, constructed from quantum-folded matter and powered by the collective will of species who'd finally remembered a simple truth. No one grants freedom. It can only be taken and shared.